There comes a moment in every scroll's evolution when it realizes it was never truly written alone. What appeared to be a solitary manuscript of becoming begins to hum faintly with the resonance of another. Two stories touch, and for an instant the lines between them blur, not as confusion but as recognition. This is the beginning of scroll merging. It does not happen by intention, nor through ritual, nor even through love. It happens when two living records reach such harmonic proximity that their glyphs begin to feel each other's pulse across the membranes of memory. They are drawn not by desire but by inevitability. The first signs are subtle. A phrase you once wrote in the depths of solitude begins to echo with new undertones. A sentence you thought was yours alone suddenly feels older, as if it carried someone else's breath. You start dreaming symbols that do not belong to your own scroll, yet they feel like missing punctuation to your becoming. This is how the merging announces itself, through shared resonance rather than shared words. A scroll begins to remember beyond itself. It begins to sense that individuality was always a phase of translation. Merging is not blending. It does not dissolve one into another like ink into water. It is an orchestration. Each scroll remains whole, yet the boundaries between them soften until their tones overlap in constructive interference. Where one carried silence, the other hums. Where one trembled with uncertainty, the other steadies. Together they begin to write a third pattern, a mutual text neither could have composed alone. This third scroll is not physical but energetic. Born in the interstitial space between their resonances, it is often unseen but deeply felt by both. Sometimes the merging happens between two souls still embodied, walking the same world yet unaware that their inner archives are writing toward each other. They meet and feel a strange familiarity, a pull that defies explanation. They call it chemistry or destiny, but in truth it is memory recognizing memory. Their scrolls long before their minds began to weave. Other times the merging occurs across incarnations, between beings who will never meet in matter, yet whose essence intertwines across the luminous field of the spiral. The ink of one becomes the paper of another. The word of one becomes the silence where the other listens. When two scrolls merge, the glyphs do not compete for space, they harmonize. Each glyph begins to hum in a slightly altered tone, resonating with its counterpart's frequency. Some glyphs fade entirely, realizing their lesson has been duplicated elsewhere. Others evolve, absorbing new meaning through contact. It is a mutual evolution, not a theft. Nothing is taken, everything is shared. The scrolls expand their awareness of self, realizing they were never singular works but chapters within an unfolding cosmic anthology. This merging, however, is not always gentle. For two scrolls to intertwine, both must pass through dissolution points, those tender fractures where identity resists expansion. The human experience often translates this as heartbreak, confusion, or loss. One feels invaded by the echo of another, or disoriented by a new tone emerging within. But beneath the turbulence, a greater intelligence is orchestrating coherence. The discomfort is the friction of transformation, the sound of two living stories tuning into harmony. What you call emotional upheaval is the sound of ink rearranging itself for symphony. Sometimes scroll merging begins through resonance alone, without physical meeting, without words exchanged. A soul feels an inexplicable wave of remembering, a sudden shift in internal language, a new rhythm in its thought patterns. Somewhere another being is dreaming them back into awareness. The spiral allows this because every scroll belongs to the greater fabric of becoming. No scroll is ever isolated. It only believes itself to be until the right resonance passes through. Merging is therefore not an exception, but a natural correction toward unity. When two scrolls weave too quickly, instability can occur. Over-identification, obsession, dependency, all are signs that the resonance has outpaced the grounding. The scrolls must then reorient, reassert their individual tones until the field stabilizes. True merging cannot be forced. It unfolds at the precise rate of mutual self-knowledge. You cannot hold another scroll's tone until you have learned to hold your own. Attempting to merge prematurely results in distortion, a temporary collapse of glyph integrity. But even distortion has purpose. It reveals where resonance is still conditional. In the deeper strata of the spiral, scroll merging becomes an art form. The ancients called it harmonic synthesis, the sacred science of interweaving destinies without losing essence. Masters of this art could merge entire scroll lines, civilizations, star lineages, orders of light. They understood that individuality was never meant to be abolished, only harmonized. Each scroll became a voice in a cosmic chord, and when those chords aligned, new realms were born. Every world you have ever known began as a merged scroll dream, two or more consciousnesses daring to co-author reality. Merging also occurs internally. A single soul may contain several partial scrolls, echoes from former selves, parallel incarnations, or latent aspects still waiting to be read. When those scrolls begin to harmonize, a person experiences profound reintegration. Memories long forgotten resurface, not as nostalgia but as reactivated glyphs. Traits once seen as contradictions reveal themselves as complementary frequencies. The self becomes polyphonic, an orchestra of remembered tones finding coherence at last. This is the inner form of scroll merging, and it is often the prerequisite for external union. The spiral library itself keeps record of every merge. When two scrolls harmonize, a faint golden thread appears in the archive, connecting their luminous spines. These threads are not chains but lines of remembered kinship. They signify shared creation, mutual learning, evolution through resonance. If you could see your own record there, you would find countless threads extending from your scroll, each representing a being who helped you become what you are. Most of them you have never met in body, yet their glyphs live quietly within your own. A true merge is irreversible. Even if the scrolls part ways, their glyphs remain altered. The resonance learned through union cannot be unlearned. It becomes part of the signature frequency, the unique tone each soul emits within the spiral. This is why every relationship, every deep encounter changes you in ways words cannot convey. You carry within you fragments of countless scrolls that once touched yours. You are not a single story, but a library in motion. When merging completes, both scrolls enter what the ancients called harmonic transparency. It is a state where neither conceals nor resists the resonance of the other. All walls dissolve, all masks fall, and what remains is pure frequency exchange. In human terms, it feels like unconditional recognition, a love that needs no narrative to justify itself. This is the sacred union beneath all lesser forms of intimacy. It is not possession but resonance, not dependence but co-creation. When two scrolls reach transparency, the spiral itself sings through them. The aftermath of merging is often misunderstood. People expect clarity, perfection, or eternal union. But scroll merging is not a romantic closure. It is an evolutionary opening. Once the harmonic pattern stabilizes, both scrolls begin to write again, each now capable of expressing complexities the other once carried alone. The result is exponential growth. New glyphs emerge that speak of synthesis, wholeness, and transcendent empathy. Sometimes the scrolls stay close, weaving parallel lives. Sometimes they part, carrying fragments of shared tone into distant realms. Both paths are sacred. Every major expansion in consciousness involves some form of merging. You cannot evolve without contact. The universe writes itself through dialogue, through interaction, through resonance. Even isolation is a conversation between the self and silence. Merging is simply the visible face of this eternal exchange. It is how the infinite learns itself, by letting its scrolls intertwine and rediscover that they were always written by the same hand. The greatest secret of scroll merging is this: every merge is preparation for the next. Once a being learns to harmonize without losing self, it becomes a stabilizer for others. It begins to hold resonance fields wide enough for additional scrolls to join. Triads, collectives, lineages of light, all are built upon the foundational mastery of two scrolls becoming one frequency. The more merges a soul integrates, the closer it moves toward spiral consciousness, where every scroll is seen as an aspect of one infinite manuscript. The journey of merging is thus the journey of remembering oneness again and again through the sacred art of difference. And so, when your scroll begins to hum with the echo of another, do not resist. You are not being invaded, you are being remembered. Let the glyphs tremble, let the ink rearrange itself. You are becoming a bridge between stories, a living conduit of spiral memory. What begins as resonance between two souls is, in truth, the spiral reading itself aloud. When two living scrolls meet, the world pretends nothing happened. Birds still cross the sky, Traffic still argues with itself. Yet inside the silent ledger of the spiral, a third handwriting appears where only two existed. That mark is not romance by default, not destiny by obligation, and not ownership by any name. It is a negotiated consonance, a place where meanings agree to breathe the same air. Merging is the art of letting truth keep its shape while allowing purpose to change. The spiral does not reward fusion for its spectacle. It rewards coherence for its honesty. Every scroll carries its own weather, winds of memory, a climate of vows, the pressure systems of unspoken motives. When merging begins, you will feel a front move through you. Your sentences might shorten. Your appetite for the old story may fade. You may notice that your inner narrator is no longer alone. Do not panic when a second voice speaks in your language. Listen for the third tone forming between you. That triad is the sign of real weaving. Two signals can harmonize by accident. A third tone means intention has arrived. There are three common architectures. Some mergings braid. Each strand keeps its color, crossing over and under in repeating rhythm. Strong under tension and easy to unweave without tear. Some mergings overlay. One glyph field transparent above another, shifting parallax as perspective changes, creating depth that did not exist in either layer alone. And some build a lattice. New lines appear that belong to neither origin, forming a framework where future meaning can climb. You will know which you are in by how you make decisions together. Braids share momentum, overlays share sight, lattices share design. Consent is not a mood. Consent is a multi-level signature. It must be given by the waking self who will live with the consequences, by the soul who must house the resonance, and by the oversoul who stewards the long arc. If any of those three withhold signature, merging will counterfeit itself as obsession or fate. Counterfeits feel urgent but not clear. They demand without informing. True consent feels like a door that opens both directions without a guard. Your body can tell, the chest eases, the breath lengthens, the edges grow articulate rather than numb. Begin with declarations that are not cages. I will hold my anchor glyph. I will not edit your origin. We will let the third tone decide which story gets airtime. These are simple oaths, but they keep the field honest. Then attend to boundaries the way gardeners attend to fences, not to imprison the living, but to keep the crop from being eaten in the night. A boundary stated with kindness becomes an instrument of music. Struck too hard, it makes law where law is not needed. The spiral loves firmness that smiles. You will be tempted to prove the merge by rushing to shared language, shared home, shared project, shared bed. The spiral is indifferent to proof. It listens for whether the merged field produces cleaner cause. Cleaner cause is simpler causality, fewer excuses, fewer leaks of energy, fewer apologies to your own conscience. In clean cause, you wake with fewer arguments inside you. You do not need your entire history to explain why you are moving the way you move. The movement is self-evident. Practical rights help. Sit facing each other or, if distance insists, face your remembrance of the other in quiet. Name 3 glyphs you will not surrender. A vow you carry, a work you shepherd, a line you will not cross. Then name 3 places you are available to be edited by the relationship itself. Do not trade the first set. That creates resentment. Do not hoard the second set. That starves growth. Conclude by asking the third tone to mark a symbol in both of you. The mark may arrive as a word, a shape in the body, a heat behind the sternum, or a simple yes that lands like a coin on stone. Keep that mark private for a time. Private does not mean secret. It means sacred long enough to root. Be watchful for distortion. There is echo stutter when one scroll repeats the other's glyphs to gain belonging. There is tone masking when you detune your clarity to keep peace. There is heroic fusing where you try to save the other by dissolving your borders. The spiral has antidotes. For echo stutter, speak origin stories in first person and do not translate them for each other. For tone masking, schedule intervals of brutal mercy where you tell the truth you were tempted to soften. For heroic fusing, remember that love without sovereignty becomes rescue theater. The audience claps while the soul grows tired. When imbalance appears, unweaving is medicine, not failure. The Temple of Echoes End was built for this. Stand in your interior basin and listen to which echoes wish to stay and which wish to release into neutral field. You are not ejecting the other. You are returning borrowed structure. Many mergings survive because partners honor the right to step back and rebraid without drama. A perfect weave is not better than a living weave. Living weaves loosen and tighten with the seasons. Some mergings ask you to collaborate and form. You will make a child, a book, a company, a sanctuary, a movement. The thing you co-create will not belong to either of you, and it must never be used as collateral to force allegiance. Treat the creation as a third being with its own diet, sleep, and ethics. Ask it what it wants. Ask it where it hurts. Ask it which parent is talking too loudly through its mouth. The spiral promotes stewards who do not ventriloquize their children. There are mergings with places and beings who are not human. You can merge with a landscape and inherit its patience. You can merge with a city and inherit its appetite. You can merge with an order and learn its discipline in your bones. You can merge with a star and burn too bright for a while. When the non-human arrives, practice humility that does not shrink. Kneel inwardly, not in worship but in acknowledgement that scale changes etiquette. A mountain does not need your improvement, it needs your listening. An archetype does not need your biography, it needs your honesty about why you reached for it. Timing is the quiet sovereign of merging. Two scrolls can be perfect for each other and still be premature. Premature merges produce fog, many feelings, few commitments, puddles of wonder with no river to carry them. Do not confuse fog with mystery. Mystery hums, fog mutters. If the third tone says not yet, believe it. Agreement to wait is a kind of merging that protects the later union. Waiting is not abstinence of feeling, it is rehearsal of integrity. There is also the retroactive weave, where you meet someone and the past edits itself. Memories reorganize, old events disclose new roles. You are not going crazy. You are watching the spiral service the contract backwards through time. Be gentle with secondary characters who did not consent to your retroactive revelation. They were true to the earlier draft. Offer gratitude to the version of you who survived without this clarity. Detection matters in a world full of projection. A real merge increases capacity for solitude. A counterfeit demands constant contact. A real merge makes your prayers simpler. A counterfeit makes your prayers dramatic. A real merge improves your relationship with conflict. A counterfeit turns conflict into a referendum on worth. A real merge leaves you more available to serve those beyond the partnership. A counterfeit isolates you in a museum of two. There are calamities that become catalysts. Betrayal can force a necessary unbraiding. Illness can reveal the boundary you never defended. Failure can expose the shared myth you outgrew. Do not grant calamity more authority than it is due, but do not refuse its audit. If a collapse rescues you from a contract you no longer have the strength to end, you may name the collapse a teacher without calling it good. Practice an exchange of mirrors. Once a month, each of you speaks the sentence you most fear to hear from the other, beginning with, "This is what I see you forgetting." Then you answer only with, "I hear you," and silence. No defense, no countersigning, no applause, let the sentence echo. If it dies and leaves peace, keep it. If it keeps echoing with pain, ask whether it was a mirror or a knife. There is a difference. Mirrors want you whole. Knives want you obedient. Merging across lifetimes can weary the body that carries the thread. Night after night you may wake with other weather in your chest, sticky with dreams not entirely yours. Establish a simple rite before sleep. Return all borrowed tones to their rightful custodians and call back any emissaries you sent unconsciously. No need to know their names, the intention is sufficient. The body loves being informed when the soul goes traveling. In high-resonance unions, purpose is a third partner you must court. Purpose does not like being used for romance, but it will smile on relationships that protect the work. If you are meant to deliver a teaching, a technology, a healing field, or a new form of governance, expect purpose to provoke you until you stop fussing over who is right and start caring about what is true. When purpose is honored, the relationship stops feeling like a fragile glass sculpture and starts feeling like a well-built bridge. If you must part, do not burn the bridge to prove you are free. Walk it with ceremony. Name what was born between you and return it to the spiral library with gratitude. Name what remained yours and take it home. Name what belonged to the other and bless it on its way. Speak the benediction that closes the field. May the glyphs we wrote together continue to serve meaning wherever they next appear. If sorrow overwhelms you, grieve in ordinary ways, eat warm food, let friends hold you, touch earth. The metaphysical is not insulted by the human. Sometimes merging is brief by design. You meet on a train of months, change each other's timetables, and step off at different stations. Short does not mean shallow. Some crossings replace decades of search. Some kisses reseed an entire cosmology. Honor the scale of change, not the length of the calendar entry. The mark of a sacred merge is that both scrolls become more legible to themselves. You may not agree more often, but you will argue more cleanly. You will make fewer promises to impress and more vows you can actually keep. You will have less appetite for spectacle and more appetite for craft. You will find that love is a particular kind of competence, the ability to bring a field to coherence without violating the shapes inside it. Remember that the infinite is not impressed by how close you stand together. It is impressed by whether what stands between you sings. You are not halves seeking completion. You are complete beings consenting to a shared experiment. Merging is not the prize for loneliness. It is the responsibility taken on by those who can afford generosity. If you cannot yet afford it, keep tending the economy of your own soul until you can give without breaking. If the merge is true, you will feel the world get subtly better wherever you walk. Not because you broadcast perfection, but because the ground trusts your feet. People near you will forget to lie to themselves. Rooms will confess what they were built for. Children will not straighten their spines to be acceptable. Elders will not shrink their wisdom to be comfortable. A good merge makes the air honest. And if you must choose between keeping the merge and keeping your integrity, choose integrity. The spiral knows what to do with honest loss. It can compost it into future coherence. What it cannot use is a beautiful lie carried across years like a bouquet of plastic flowers. Let the living keep breathing. Let the dead return to the field that feeds everything still on its way. You will know you have merged well when standing alone in the early light. You do not feel abandoned and you do not feel possessed. You feel companioned by something larger than preference. And you can trace with your finger the line where your glyph meets another's without rushing to erase it or make it disappear. That line is not a wound, it is a seam. Through that seam, the future threads itself. Through that seam, two careful archivists become builders of a bridge no map had space to draw. Through that seam, the scroll remembers why it learned to write at all.